Good morning, students. This video belongs to subject called SIM and the module 3 chapter 6. The unit name is line balancing and it is presented by Dr. Venkatramana V and Professor Manjunatha TH. Coming to the introduction of line balancing. What is line balancing? Line balancing is a method to distribute work evenly to all workstations and among all workers. For example, any automated assembly line consists of two or more workstations or two or more workers. Hence, even distribution of work is to be done. That is nothing but an line balancing. In line balancing, we have two elements. That is, first is task and the second one is result. What is task? It is used to distribute work evenly to all machines, and the second one is results. Here the 100% line balancing, that is no wastage of time will be there and no waiting time will be there. Coming to the minimum rational work element. To divide job among stations on line, job is divided into tasks. The smallest particle indivisible task a job is divided is called minimum rational work element. Next, line balancing. Already we discussed line balancing in the first slide. Moreover, we will go through once again. Line balancing. Automated flow line involves processing, assembly operations restricted in terms of order in which operations are carried out. For example, threading hole, which involves hole must be drilled before tabbed, such constraints are called as precedence constraints. Therefore, work distribution to men and machine is uneven. Hence, line balancing is required. And in line balancing, we have objectives. We will go through one by one. First, to minimize unassigned or idle times at workstations. Second one, to eliminate bottlenecks and ensure smooth flow of production. Next, to determine optimal number of operations, workstations. Fourth one, to maintain even distribution of work among workers and stations. Fifth one, to maximize manpower utilization by minimizing idle times. Sixth, to minimize WIP. WIP is nothing but an work in process. Seventh one, to improve quality, productivity. Eighth one, to reduce wastage and delay. These are all with respect to objectives of line balancing. Next, we will go through what are all the effects we will face in line balancing. First one, size of machine, location, space, jigs and fixtures, structurals, etc. Here, jigs and fixtures is nothing but an work holding devices. Next, synchronization time in terms of skill and attitude of workers. Next, further work division is not possible. Next, long machining times, that is bottlenecks. Next, constraints due to parts, design, shape, size. Next, special purposes like electroplating, that is it is in a fixed sequence. Next, long setup times. Finally, small production volumes. For this, the justification use of line balancing is not possible. So these are all the effects which usually occurs in line balancing. Coming to the terminologies in line balancing, the definitions and the terminologies used in line balancing. First one, minimum rational work element. The minimum rational work element is the smallest particular indivisible task into which the job can be divided. Full stop. These work elements cannot be subdivided further. For example, drilling a hole, screw and nut, etc. TEJ, where J is used to identify the element out of the any elements that make up the total work, where TE is time required to complete work element. E1 is nothing but an first element, E2, E3 and it goes on. TE1 is nothing but an time required to complete element 1. Coming to the next terminology, total work content. The total work content, it is given in terms of TWC. It is the algebraic sum of time of all work elements to be done on the line, and it is given by TWC, which is equal to summation of all elements, like TEJ is nothing but an TE1, TE2, TE3 and it goes on. It is the total time required to complete entire work by completing individual work elements. Therefore, TWC is given by TE1 plus TE2 plus and it goes on till TEJ. The final value is given in the problem. Next terminology is cycle time. What is cycle time? A cycle time, it is the idle or a theoretical time, cycle time of the flow line, comma, which is the time interval between parts coming of the line, full stop. It is the greater than or equal to maximum of all times taken at a station, and it is represented by TC, where TC is given by TSI plus TR. TSI means service time and TR is given by repositioning time. The abbreviations is more important in this particular unit. And efficiency loss than 100%, the idle cycle time must be reduced, that is, or idle production rate must be increased, full stop. The minimum possible value of TC is nothing but an cycle time, is established by the bottleneck station, comma, B1 with the largest value of TS, and TC is given by E into TP. E is nothing but an efficiency and TP is nothing but an process time. And one more formula we have, TC is equal to E by RP, efficiency divided by production rate. Next terminology is workstations, and it is represented by small n, total number of stations, small n. N is given like formula for workstation, n is equal to TWC by TC. TWC is nothing but an total work content divided by cycle time, that is TWC divided by TC. Next terminology is station time, and it is given by TSI, sum of all work elements on a given station. TSI is equal to cycle time minus repositioning time, TC minus TR. Next terminology is precedence constraints. Technology sequencing requirements, comma, the order in which the work elements can be accomplished is limited. Next, precedence diagram, a graphical representation of the sequence of work elements as defined by the precedence constraints. Next terminology is balance delay, and it is also known as balancing loss, and it is determined by dB. Balance delay is a measure of the line inefficiency which results from idle time due to imperfection allocation of work among stations. And the formula for balance delay or balancing loss is dB is equal to N into TC minus TWC divided by N into TC. Here is an example for work elements or small electrical applications, and this examples for an precedence constraints and precedence diagram. Here we have a small example. In this example we have serial number up to 1 to 12 and we have element descriptions, that is place frame on work holder and clamps, assembly plug, promote to power code, assembly brackets to frame, wire power control to motor, and so on. For this we have a time like 0.2, 0.4, 0.7, 0.1 and so on. And for this we have a precedence. In this particular example, for serial number 1 and 2 we don't have any precedence, so we kept dash, means the serial number 1 and 2 will be the starting points for the precedence. And for this example we have a diagram. Here we can see for element 1 and 2 we don't have any precedence, so these two are the starting points. Coming to the element 3 we have a precedence of 1. Coming to the precedence 4 we have a precedence of 1 and 2. Coming to the element 5 we have a precedence of 2, and for 6 we have a precedence 3, and for element 7 we have a precedence of 3, and for element 8 we have a precedence of 3 and 4, and for the element 9 we have a precedence of 6, 7, 8, and we have a precedence we have a element 10, and for this we have a precedence of 8, 5, and for 11 we have a precedence of 9, 10, and for element 12 we have a precedence of 11. And for each element of serial 1 to 12 the above values is nothing but an time period. 0.2, like 0.2 first element, second element we have a 0.4, that is time period. For element 3 we have 0.7, that is time period, and so on. For each and every element the above values indicates the time period. And coming to the next terminology, repositioning efficiency. During assembly operation there is loss of time due to repositioning of work unit results in repositioning losses, in turn reduce productivity time, and it is represented by ER. ER is nothing but an repositioning efficiency, and it is given the formula like TSI divided by TC, which is equal to TC minus TR divided by TC. Coming to the next terminology is line efficiency. During assembly operations there is loss of time due to tool failures, quality, labor problems, and so on. Due to this the line works for only some proportion of time out of total time available, and line efficiency is given by capital E, and the formula is for line balancing for line efficiency, E is equal to TC by TP, which is equal to TC divided by TC plus F into TD. And we have another formula in this particular line efficiency is D, where D is given by 1 minus E. Finally, we have a last terminology is balancing efficiency. In this particular balancing efficiency is practical, it is impossible to achieve 100% line balancing. The line balancing efficiency is a measure of this perfection. It is a ratio of works content time to the total available service time on the line, and the formula for this line balancing is EB is equal to TWC divided by N into TSI. Here the terminologies are very important, where EB is nothing but an balancing efficiency, TWC is nothing but an total workstation divided by N number of workstations into TSI. TSI is nothing but an service time. So balancing efficiency EB is equal to TWC divided by N into TSI. So these are all the terminologies which will comes in line balancing. Coming to the next topic in this particular line balancing is methods of line balancing. The methods provides satisfactory solutions but does not guarantee optional solutions. In this particular line balancing we have three types. First one is largest candidate rule. Second one is Kilbridge and Wester's method. Third one is ranked positional weight method. These are all the three important methods of line balancing. For each and every methods of line balancing we have problems. In the coming video we will discuss the problems which is related on line balancing, largest candidate rule, Kilbridge and Wester's method, and ranked positioning weight method. Thank you.